Hey guys, in this final video of me forging a knife from some coil spring, I'm going to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like about the steel, if there's anything I could have done different. If you want to just see me forging and make it, you can watch parts 1 and 2. If you want to see me go over all that, then...
Stay a while and listen.
So spring steel is made of 5160. It's important if some steels will react just like other ones, like when I was forging pipe wrench, it's really similar to 1095, and spring steel is similar to 5160. And I do use 5160 for springs, but it's important to know that if you're using coil spring, it might not be exactly what you want as if you order it from a website that has exactly the carbon and the chromium and everything that you want in it. But it is really close. So this was a pretty easy steel to move. It was thick, so it took some time, but pipe wrenches, or the pipe wrench jaws, they're a lot tougher to move than this coil spring was. And the reason I wanted to use 5160 is gives you a really tough knife. The edge holds for a long time. It doesn't have a lot of chromium, which means it's not going to be stainless. So you have to put some kind of a coating on it, or let it get a patina. After hammering for a while, I got it to just about the shape I wanted. I was sort of going for like a Tanto shaped knife. I changed it a little bit in the end. So I got it close, and then I took it to my grinder. I like to use a 36 grit belt. It's a lot faster for removing steel than if you go up to a higher grit. So now I got it to the shape that I want. Now I'm going to go and drill the holes in before I do the heat treat. I also wanted to get it a little bit flatter. There are a couple divots I wanted to get rid of. I used the belt grinder, and then I used the flap disc on my angle grinder to just make it a little smoother. So this steel was a little bit harder to drill through than if I just order like some 1095. To help with this, I take the my drill press to the slowest speed. I use a lot of cutting oil. And on the pinholes, I do the 3/16 pins, and then on all these smaller ones, I just use a smaller drill bit. It goes a lot faster, and it doesn't really matter on the size. So now, because this is forged, you've got to make sure that you do thermal cycles. If you don't do the thermal cycles, there's a better chance that it can warp. There's a lot of stress in the blade after hammering it, so you need to take that stress out by doing the thermal cycle. So I ended up doing 2 cycles, and after one, I let it air cool until I can hold it, and I do the other one, and then I can do it again the third time when I do the quench. I like to use a magnet to let it air cool. That way it's hanging straight up and down. It's not touching a cold surface. Now for the heat treat, I held the blade at the same temperature for about 4 minutes. Now what you should be doing with 5160 is soaking it in that temperature for 15 to 20 minutes. I don't have a heat treat oven, so it'd be really hard to do without growing grain, which can make your blade brittle. So I did it for 4 minutes. So after the heat treat and the temper, I went to the belt grinder, start grinding in my bevels. And then someone gave me this handle material. I'm not sure what it is. I can see bubbles in it, so it was a mold of some kind of epoxy resin. But because it was given to me, I'm not sure what it was, but I really like working with it. It moves really easily. You never know what it's going to look like. It always looks better once you get it all sanded and polished. But I think these stripes should look cool in it. After I get all epoxied, then I can start doing the rough shaping. So after it's rough shaped, take it to my vise and I start sanding it. And I start at about 150 grit and I work my way up to 2000. And it's important to get all the scratches out from the previous grit before you move on to the next one. I'm using a green compound on my buffing wheel to polish it up even more. It was cool. One side looked a little bit different than the other. I really like how it turned out. And then I'm using boiled linseed oil after I buffed it just to give it a little bit more shine. So now it's all finished. I want to take it up in the mountains, get some shots of it up there, and go over what I think of the knife. There's a lot of warning signs up here. I always hope I see some of those animals. This is just about 10 minutes up. And if you live in Utah, you want to see this place. It's called Cherry Canyon. It's a really neat place. So when I first started, there were some mule deer, a couple 100 feet up, looking over the ledge. And they started going up. See you guys at the top. Almost got hit by one of these guys. They stay real low to the trail. This is the fourth one I saw. The wind's really flinging them all over the place. I found these velvet ants, also called cow killers because of their painful bite. I found this big juicy thing. Looks like a female. She's a big one. Not sure what she was, but I wanted to pick her up. She was nice. Didn't bite or anything, just wanted to get on her way. Look at that beautiful face. Also found this little lizard. He was still pretty cold. It's right when the sun came up. He just wanted to warm himself a little bit. There's a lot of jays flying around, so I moved him to a safer place. But first, I wanted to show him the amazing view. He wasn't impressed. I released him under some sagebrush, away from the birds. This was a really fun knife to make. I really like how it turned out. I do like using coil spring, but it would be better if I had a heat treat oven just so I can soak the blade in the right temperature for the right amount of time. By doing it by eye, just going by color, you can get really close, but if you have to hold it for more than 5 minutes, it's tough to not have the temperature go up and down, and you could grow grain, making the blade more likely to break. But I like how this one turned out, and just doing it for the 5 minutes worked really well. I will be doing it again. Had a lot of fun making this video. Let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. It really helps out my channel, pushes my videos out to more people. If you like seeing videos where I take my knives up in mountains like this, and getting pictures of them and testing them out, let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one.